All right, we got L7 with half of the new and improved L brothers. Divine Saint. We got Raphael Arroyo. Knowledge of Allah, powerful Allah. True self. Yeah, Lord. And Power Bill. Jan E. Jan. But yeah, this right here is about the fine line between cause and effect. That's what we're gonna get into. We wait a while for that. We get into that when everything gets charged up. But right now, the floor is open. Anybody who has something they might want to build on, let it rip. Verse 60, God cipher divine, calm is only. Real hip hop. I'm quite sure real hip hop has something. In the current event sphere, so everybody straight to it. Has anyone decided? Has anyone changed their mind and decided to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? I was out speaking to some people today, and a lot of people seem to feel like they want to get rid of Trump so bad that they got to bite that kind of bullet. I personally couldn't bring myself to do it. But major cause and effect. What do you see as the major cause and effect, L7? No Kamala Harris, no Biden. Yeah, that's what my take on it is welcome to 4 more years of Trump. don't know what kind of direction that is. And Real Hip Hop said, can we go in the aftermath of the coronavirus on our economy? Combs normally said he would rather rock out with Trump for 4 more years. Well, what do you see as the aftermath of the coronavirus on the economy? Yeah, Combs normally make a good point right there in terms of, I don't really have a dog in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Between the Republicans and the Democrats and Trump and Biden and all. I don't really have. Because policy doesn't change. American policy doesn't change that much from president to president. 793rd. But Real Hip Hop, what was you saying is the aftermath of the coronavirus on our economy? Combs Longley said he read today that Kamala's pops has slave master blood. Free to Be Me came in. What's going on with Real Hip Hop? It's just a topic and then disappear on this. Black Reality ULA. Black Reality ULA said we need to create a new party. What do you what would be the platform of that new party? Real Hip Hop said, I see that businesses don't know what to do. Nobody is making money. Um, you know, that's one of the effects. You know what I'm saying? You gotta remember that, for a long time, the economy has been, kind of, on the edge. You know what I'm saying? It was already at a state where uh, one small thing could push it over the edge. You know what I mean? Just think about how many times uh disaster has been averted, with the economy. Like I seen the economy, let me see, one, two, three, wait, one, two, three, four, 5 times I seen the economy tank. You know what I'm saying? And each time they just kind of propped it up with some stuff that also wasn't sustainable. So it was already kind of teetering on the edge. It seemed powerful, and you had a lot of people making a lot of money, but it was teetering on the edge of destruction the entire time. Calm Islam, he said, I work in sales. A lot of the white folks I deal with are leaving New York. So SW says, sustaining the virus is the new economy. Real hip hop said the only people making money are drug dealers. L7 said another party ain't necessary for the NGE. We have our own nation. Free to be me said, back to the roots, reparations or no vote. The Hunger Games shall begin. Yeah, you're right about that. What happened to reparations? You know, that's another effect that, that's kind of gotten pushed to the back burner, whereas, that was like a main thing, the people that was behind that, the push was to make that a main point of the election. Now, in terms of the primary, it did have a big impact. You know what I'm saying? When they was doing the debates and everything, reparations continued to come up, over and over, so that they knew, that was it was an issue that they had to at least address and speak on. Black Reality said the new party's platform would be social equality, teaching civilization to all human families. L7 said if you have a trade, it's money out here. Powerful law said America is one big trap house. Every business has a president. Calm Islami, so Biden got the nomination, so the pandering stopped. You mean in terms of reparations? Same old Democrat trick knowledge. Black Reality, you Allah said reparations ain't much more than pandering. Um, so Calm Islami, you brought up a good point. Uh, I've been reading in the news some things that I think is reflective. It's reflective of the economy. They've been reopening welfare hotels. When I say reopening, not the same hotels, but they've been turning hotels. In the last since the virus, at least. They've been housing homeless people in the hotels. And they housing them in some areas that you would be. I'm shocked that they would do that. Uh, the Section 8 hotels. I mean, you got all people of every degree of struggle. You know what I'm saying? Whatever government program they in. But right now, like in 79th Street, 78th over there in Broadway, there's 3 hotels that they move homeless people into. Homeless men in particular. So they were saying that the situation in those areas are being degraded, very fast. So that you having a lot of people that's ready to move out. That's the particular reason in that area. What's the reason that you've been hearing people say they want to move out? Halftime came in, was you, the guy I beat. Free to be me. Free to be me. That's quite a statement right there about how black people that was born in America is getting passed up, and a lot of other groups. That was one of the things Kamala Harris said that damaged her presidential run when she was running for president herself. Is they asked her, what kind of agenda, what did she have on her agenda for black people? And she said, she would never pass any laws that only affect black people, or that only benefit black people, because, I'm sure if it was something that, was holding black people back, she might be with that. But, and then she supports a lot of legislation for other groups, you know, that, there's no benefit for everyone in that. There's only a benefit for that group. And for the most part, those groups are smaller than us. As long as they're telling the people that want to leave New York are saying that New York is done, they can't enjoy life here anymore, and it's too congested, too expensive, too controlled, etc. You know, uh, a lot of that is that's the like the title here, cause and effect. Uh, a lot of that is the effect of what they, like right now, you got a certain group of people that, they're nostalgic about the times of Giuliani and Bloomberg. But the city being congested and too expensive, you know, to control a lot of that is, that's really something that happened in that era. You know, this era has other things that spiraled out of control. But yeah, at this point, I have heard that too. That's like, if you're not gonna be able to go to Broadway, you're not gonna be able to go to restaurants and things of that nature, then what's the point in spending all that money to live in New York? Guys like Devon said Trump is already making accusations that Kamala Harris isn't even qualified to run based on her heritage being in question. Hmm. Her heritage is in question. Mr. Green one came in, treated be me, say uh, Kamala is Jim Crow. What's Joe Pitt? What's Joe Pitt MM? Yeah, so you know, these is good examples that we're going to use when we go into the cause and effects. Because remember, I said, you know, from the time uh, things really start getting to the quarantine time, what I'm saying? And also, with the George Floyd events and, all the other Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, that all of that was, you know, that was just the catalyst right there. I'll be infinite came in. That was just the catalyst. Now we really about to get to, the nitty gritty of the effects of all of this stuff. So Carmen's Lonely is saying, so this is not just something that Trump is saying. Uh, Carmen's Lonely said they're saying her parents were not naturalized citizens when she was born here. So who else is saying this besides Trump? Al-Kim Salam, Musa said her granny is Jamaican. One thing when you deal with really all over the world right now, but in particular, when you're dealing with the Western Hemisphere, right, where almost every country, was colonized to the heaviest of degrees. You know what I'm saying? Because the Indian population was wiped out. The colonization over here, is at a whole different level. You know what I'm saying? To the point where, when you say Jamaican, that don't really mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just like if you say a person is American, they could be, Chinese by heritage, but they was born here. So it says, in anywhere that you go within the British Empire, the Spanish Empire, the French Empire, you know what I'm saying? You will see that, you can have anybody, that uses that nationality, but what does that really say about which human family you belong to? Black reality, you a lot. So we need to start legislating for ourselves. We need some land to build our own and stop waiting for these so-called officials to do something for us. Well, within participating in the political system, you know what I'm saying? I think that we gotta get deeper into it to, have a really great impact. You know what I'm saying? You know, um, uh, getting deeper into it by, actually grooming the politicians. You know what I'm saying? Actually being the people who elevate them, you know, to the level of being able to win an office. Because a lot of times that's what the issue is. You know what I'm saying? If you look at most of the or a lot of the cities, right, where black people is not doing so good, and you look at the political structure, is black people, and Democrats that's running. You understand what I'm saying? But regardless, to what their background is, if they're beholden, to whatever industry or whatever individuals that back them to get into office, right? Then whatever your vote is, it's what I'm saying? Is not having the same impact. You still voting within the choices that they gave you. You understand what I'm saying? It's like if I brought in a whole box full of rotten fruit and told you, pick one, you can have one, but at the end of the day, it's all rotten fruit. Oh, Jim Crow Joe. I see what you said. Jim Crow Joe and Skamala. They hired you know, Free to Be Me is going in pretty hard on it. So Carmen's on. He said, I think her pops is half Jamaican, half Irish. True Self said, Port Drop Off plays uh, an eminent role in the division of I think we talking about in the division of people when you're dealing with nationality versus human family. L7 is saying, yeah, you responsible for who's sent to Washington in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? Like for instance, we was talking to y'all was bringing up the point about pandering to black voters. That's basically that's basically the position that we hold in politics. You know what I'm saying? Is that we're some people that need to be pandered to in order to form the coalition. You understand what I'm saying? You know, just speaking, even from just a point of arithmetic, you know, uh, this kind of democratic formulation that we exist with right now, right? You know, the the Republican Party is, for the most part, they supported by more colored people, right? So they're the majority population. I'm saying, you know what I mean? So now, in order for the Democrats to battle against that majority population, right? They gotta first of all try to break down that population by separating certain identities and saying that okay, you a woman, so now you shouldn't be a part of this, mainstream, uh, you know, Republican, idealism. You should be down with the Democrat progressive type of idealism. You know what I mean? So now you kind of separate that majority population, and then you bring in, black people, you bring in, immigrants, whoever it is, and this forms your coalition. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of the constituents in that pop that a lot of the constituents in that coalition, right? They're only being pandered to, right, to put the person in power so that they can execute the plans. The real plans that they're going to execute is the plans of the people who financed them and the plans of the people who provided them with the connections to be able to get to that level. You know what I'm saying? Each president, I was saying before that each president, you can kind of look at, where they from. It's just my all right. You a lot of times you will see those industries um, becoming very lucrative. You know what I'm saying? Like when George Bush was there from Texas, Exxon Mobil was making a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Ronald Reagan, he was there representing business. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like Wall Street business. Um, you know, Obama was supported by the pharmaceutical industry. You know what I'm saying? So he passed laws that, benefited them. It was pandered to the people. It was sold to the people as if it was for them. But in fact, those are the people who really get that's why the 1% is the 1%. 0.1%, however you want to look at it, that's how they got to be who they are. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, when you see a person drop out of the race for president, right? More likely than not, that's because whoever's backing them is not going to give them no more money. Like whoever's backing them made a business decision that, okay, I'm going to cut my losses right here because it doesn't look like you're going to win. That if it was up to them, if they could, keep it going, you know what I'm saying? Most of them would probably keep it going. Thomas Longley said if a charismatic young black conservative politician came on the scene, it could make major waves. I feel like they're preparing the soil for that. I mean, is that possible? Yeah, I don't know if that's possible. I can't say that I've ever seen a charismatic black Republican. Or perhaps it's just that their charisma doesn't appeal to me. But like for instance, you got Tim Scott. Is that his name? Tim Scott from South Carolina. Is he's a black conservative Republican, not very charismatic to me. I mean, I think that's a little bit of a misnomer, maybe. Like you said, we need to shape and mold our children into what our nation needs. Each generation should project a higher degree of intelligence than the prior generation. How do you think we're doing? Um, well, uh, I think we at the extremes of that in terms of, there's a lot of young kids that's really excelling. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of young kids that, they got some great ideas and they put them into activation. You know what I'm saying? And then there's a lot of uh, young that's, they're not using intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Intelligence, knowledge is not informing their actions. You know what I'm saying? You know, uh, and a lot is because history is not known that much. It we in a historical moment right now. But when you look at how some people is reacting in this historic moment, you know what I'm saying? It's clear that, they're not looking at it like that. You know what I'm saying? They're not looking at the history, of everything that's happened in the wilderness of North America. Since we came over here, you know, nobody's thinking that now is a time of opportunity. It's an opportune time for us to demonstrate what unity can do. You understand what I'm saying? Unity and focus on righteousness, and it's uh, you know turned into one of the greatest times of separation that we've seen in a long time. In a lot of these uh, inner cities. True Self said Democrats infiltrated the Republicans to stifle them and flip the narrative. Hmm. Free to be me said until the Constitution changes, we'll always have the ugly stick. So God Savvy Divine asked if Colin Powell was a charismatic conservative. Uh, Colin Powell was charismatic, um, but I don't know how. I know like on a lot of levels, uh, he, in terms of fiscally and things of that nature, what I'm saying, in terms of the different policies that, he was one of the early people that seen that a lot of the policies that the Democrats is, instituting, and particularly saying that they trying to help us wasn't helping us. You know what I'm saying? But I think you can kind of tell by the way they kind of got rid of him and swept him under the rug that he wasn't really one of them. You know what I'm saying? But I do credit Colin Powell for he probably had the greatest moment in television history. I don't know if you was watching when they was doing it was in the run up to the second Gulf War. And so they was politicking the case that they should go to war, and they sent Colin Kaepernick up to the Capitol. You know, and he made probably the most gangster statement that I've heard on live TV. When he pulled out the anthrax. First of all, I was like, where'd you get anthrax? But he pulled out the anthrax, and he had a tube like this. He said, see, the anthrax that's in this tube right now can kill everybody in this room. Now, what you gonna do? You gonna sign it so we can go over there, or what? Hey, Scrubs, you brought anthrax to Congress and threatened them with it? That's a veiled threat. And they signed up right after that. But I'm not sure he would have been, you know, kind of like Bloomberg. Uh, he was a Democrat before he ran for mayor. But clearly he's not, the same type of Democrat. You know what I'm saying? Is he don't fit the perfect image of a Democrat. You know what I'm saying? free to be me, said both parties, they're not your friends. We're still three-fifths of a human in the Constitution. They don't consider you human. Um, yeah, but that's that's the political type thing. Um, I mean, that's still in the Constitution. Um, there's some other things in the Constitution that kind of break that down. It's kind of like an opposing uh, legal concept. Because three-fifths of a man is about voting. You understand what I'm saying? So when they give you, uh, a vote, that's one of the things that's kind of like an opposing legal concept. So true self said, wasn't Democrats the opposite of what they stand for now? I could have sworn Republicans were the original advocates of non-slavery. Um, I'm not sure. Uh, I think it was a dude, if I'm not mistaken, uh, William Jennings Bryan. You know what I'm saying? He was a dude that was for the people. You know what I'm saying? In terms of a politician. And when I say the people, you know what I'm saying? We talking about somebody that was in the late 1800s, very early 1900s, very, very early. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so the people that he talking about, of course, is white people, but he was, somebody that was, for the people as, opposed to being about business. You know what I'm saying? Which was, growing at that time, uh, the other part of the Democratic Party, Woodrow Wilson, you know, he was making statements such as the business of America is business. You know what I'm saying? He was the dude that signed the Federal Reserve Act, and just he did a lot to benefit the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, the Morgans, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? And uh, the Williams Jennings Bryan dude, he still was a dude that had an impact on politics, even though he didn't win the presidency. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like um, what's this dude named Bernie Sanders, is having an impact on politics, even though he didn't win. You know what I'm saying? And so dudes like FDR, they was more in the spirit of Williams Jennings Bryan than Woodrow Wilson. You know what I'm saying? Like Woodrow Wilson, he's one of the he was a Clinton. You know what I'm saying? And so this kind of, we have to do things to help the common people type of idea, what I'm saying, got, developed and, brought into the mainstream consciousness with FDR, what I'm saying, the New Deal and, things of that nature, what I mean, Social Security, all this kind of stuff is what came from FDR. And then from FDR, right, you had another group of, politicians who came into that thought kind of, he was in with his New Deal was kind of like when you hear guys now and they running for president and they always bringing up Ronald Reagan, you know what I'm saying? And how he impacted the economy and things of that nature, right? So, you get up to Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson, you know what I'm saying? They was from the train of thought with FDR. You know what I'm saying? So you get the Great Society, but they start to extend the who they defined as the people that they wanted to benefit. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to business, um, they start to include black people in it. You know what I'm saying? So when they start to include black people in it, you know what I'm saying? The Democratic Party, they was all with things benefiting the people as long as we was talking about white people. You know what I'm saying? But when they discovered, uh, or when it came to the point of Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson, you know what I'm saying, extending all these benefits out to black people, you know what I'm saying, them being Democrats, and then the Democratic Party, the Democrats in the South, who, like I said, they was all with people getting help as long as it was white people. But if this help started getting extended to black people, then they knew it was going to destroy, you know, they, their civilization, their way of life. That's what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? That you're going to destroy this Jim Crow way of life that we live in. You know what I'm saying? So when the Democratic Party supported John Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson, you know what I'm saying, in the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act and things, et cetera, right? Uh, the Democrats in the South felt betrayed. And so most of them, not all of them, you know what I'm saying? You still had Byrd in Virginia, or was it West Virginia? You still had Strom Thurmond in South Carolina. You still had some dudes that remained Democrat, but most of the Democrats in the South switched over to the Republican Party because they felt betrayed by their own, Democratic Party because they voted to, basically free their slaves. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's kind of how the Southern Democrats switched to the Republican Party. Carmen's Lonely said prison stocks went up after Kamala got chosen. Is that a fact? Or are you joking around? Outside said Kamala Harris is going to be a bootlicker. That's not a step forward. We got the wordsmith is in here. Free to be me said anyone they put in there will not have the black man's interest at heart. I mean, they really don't have, you know, uh, every population of people that's in America, you know, yeah, everybody got their own story, but for the most part, everybody came here for a reason. The government at that time, the business leaders at that time, they decided that, we need a population of people to do this or a population of people to do that. And when they decide that, they facilitate people coming over here. Now, facilitating people coming over here is a little bit of a euphemistic term for how, black people came here. But my point is that we was brought over here to do labor. And at this point, they don't need us to do labor no more. You know what I'm saying? That's part of what the immigration right now is about. You know what I'm saying? So you know agreeing with you, I'm saying, uh, you know, they just don't have any interest, in supporting or facilitating the population of black men. You know what I'm saying? The uh, the best option for them at this point in time right now, right, is that going a little bit back in history too. Um, See, as farming became corporate, you know what I'm saying, and even that is only a part of what happened. But I'm just saying, in particular in New York State, you know, other people might be able, but that was one of the things that happened, is that as manufacturing started getting outsourced, and as farming turned into the big industrial corporate farms, right? A lot of the towns that was upstate, you know what I'm saying, that the economy was just supported by manufacturing, or the economy was supported by manufacturing, or the economy was supported by the farmers that was there, right? When the manufacturing left and the farming went industrial, right, it wiped out the economies in those places. You know what I'm saying? And so the prison system, right, is one of the ways that they replace the manufacturing and the farming. You understand what I'm saying? So now, instead of having all of these people upstate that's unemployed, right, and all of these black people that's unemployed, we're going to pay these people upstate, right, to keep these black people locked up. Two birds with one stone. So 793 said, just saw a video of someone saying that Grandmaster J, cat part of that so-called militia, was on stage during a Trump rally helping kick someone out. So either he's a spook that sat by the door, or he's with, no way back. I don't know what happened yet. Or maybe that was it. But yeah, that's interesting. Grandmaster Jay was at the Trump rally. Wonder what's his logic behind that. Black reality said, might as well go ahead and rap for Ye. I mean, to me, that's one of the most clown things, and just the fact that it's being entertained to me is crazy. I mean, he's free to run for president and all, but and this is something I've been thinking has been going on for a long time. You know what I'm saying? With today's media, there's no difference between fame and infamy. You know what I'm saying? There's no difference between notoriety and notorious. You understand what I'm saying? So because he brings some kind of ratings, they'll put them on, you know what I'm saying, and actually, humor this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's one of the craziest things of 2020 to me. You know what I'm saying? Now, somebody who, and I mean, it's not just that he's an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, he's had extremely erratic behavior. Extremely. If we want to talk about somebody that's more loose cannon than Trump, it's absolutely Kanye's way out there. So wait, L7 said a white woman married to a white man, also working for a white man. Talk about cause and effect. A black woman married to a white man, working for a white man. Talk about cause and effect. Hmm. You gotta break that one down. I didn't understand that. Black justice. Free to be me. So as long as America is a capitalist society, a brother will always sell us out. That's a factor in reality. You know what I'm saying? That every single uh every single, I won't want to say movement, but every single move, every single action, every single group that try to deal with freedom, justice, and equality for the original man, you know what I'm saying? They was always radical. You know what I'm saying? There was always an informant, you know, but that's a part of the reality in America. You know what I'm saying? Is that you could get your freedom, by giving information on some brothers that were seeking freedom, justice, and equality. Ever since the days of slavery. So you right, we got halftime. Mr. Doug Williams. So yeah, I'm just getting to the point now where y'all was I guess this is where y'all was commenting where I was talking about Colin Powell down at Congress, letting them know that you don't want me to throw a couple grains of this anthrax up there. There's enough anthrax in this tube right here to kill everybody in this room. Now what you gonna do? Black reality, you Allah said the separation laws of Yaqub are everything. Jason Rosario TV. Free to be me. So why are we still looking for some politicking devils to save us, black or white? The only color that matters. So give me my money for my labor. Oh man. Well, it's certain industries, and kind of capitalism in general, right? Uh Capitalism was brought about during the slave era. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure, it might well now, yeah, capitalism was brought about during the slave era. You know, I suppose every country that was dealing with capitalism, uh, they might not have jumped into slavery yet. You know what I'm saying? Because each European country came into slavery, came into colonialism, imperialism, all these things. They came into it, one by one. You know what I'm saying? First was the Portuguese and the Dutch, then the Spanish, then the French, then the English. So, maybe you might say it was a time when England was dealing with capitalism and they weren't big in the slave industry yet. But at the same time, they wasn't at the top rungs of capitalism either. You know what I'm saying? Um, but capitalism has never really existed without slavery. And so that's kind of like the conditions, you know what I'm saying, that you need in order to make it work. You understand what I'm saying? You know, uh, it's kind of like, look, if you sell winter coats, you know what I'm saying, and all of a sudden the climate changes, and it's 80 degrees outside every day. You know what I'm saying? Kind of the conditions that existed that allowed you to build a lucrative business selling coats, it kind of has to keep existing in order for you to keep making money selling coats. So, you got to realize that, the entire time that capitalism was born and was being developed, slavery existed. And that's one of the prerequisite conditions that need to exist in order for capitalism to thrive. You know what I'm saying? You know, uh, one thing they'll tell you about capitalism, right, is that labor is the biggest cost. You know what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with costs and revenues, right, and labor is the biggest one, you're always trying to shave it down. So, in terms of, giving out the money for the labor, that's just a hard thing for them to do. Jason Rosario said the TV be lying a lot and making people look crazy. I can't take that at face value. Kanye is way smarter than most people realize. Um, well, you would have to you would have to point out you would have to point out uh, some times that he demonstrated his intelligence. So 93rd, so the prison population continues to be the useful land that is used by the colored man since farms went under for the most part upstate. And yeah, Colin Powell graduated from Morris High School in the Bronx. Was it Morris or what's that school over there? Is that Taft? You might have went to Taft. God said Divine said Yakub was born with a determined idea that caused him to make double or Yakub or was Yakub affected by the idea that made double that affected the original man 6,000 years? You kind of said the same thing right there, didn't you? Free to be me said it doesn't matter who wins, the struggle continues. These last days, these are the last days, get yours. Like let's just say Yakub was inculcated in his determined idea from his elders. Okay, we got a little side rally development here. Great innovation came in. So 793rd, he's curious as well as me about when Kanye has really shown high levels of intelligence. I mean levels of intelligence. You got to think that you about to be the leader of the free world. You being able to play musical notes is not going to help you. There's different types of intelligence. You know what I mean? So perhaps because of that fact, maybe I don't have the same type of intelligence he has, so maybe I missed it, but I didn't see it. All right. 793rd says, oh, Earth went to school with Colin Powell, so he definitely went to Morris. But Innovation said he's artistic. One thing about when you're from New York, right? Uh, the way our accent is, like, the word artistic in New York, we say artistic. You know what I mean? So, recently, sometimes if a person like Kanye, if they say he's autistic, you know, I have to specify, do you mean artistic or autistic? Because with the New York accent, both of them can sound both of them can sound the same depending on who you're talking to. You know. But being that you spelled it out right there, I know what you're saying. But if we was talking, I might I might have to ask you, do you mean artistic or autistic? Free to be me said Kanye hasn't been knowledgeable since college dropout. One thing I always think about college, when I think about when Kanye first came out, it almost seems as like, uh, I don't know, like if he was a sad person or, whatever, definitely he didn't apply any of the things he was talking about on that, he didn't apply, and really throughout his career, he didn't apply any of the sensible things that he said on his records. As W said, yeah, it's bad shit crazy. I mean, I tend to be in that camp. Oh man, 793rd said that actually there are some autistic geniuses. So what are you trying to say, man? Kanye's a rain man. disclaimers. It's free to be me. I gotta do disclaimers for free to be me today, man. Free to be me, man. You know the powers that be on YouTube. Jason Rosario said, musically and culturally, Kanye is very impactful. Business wise, he is very successful and innovative. He also goes through regular life problems like everyone else. It's just that they are magnified because of the media. It takes intelligence to become a multi-billionaire. Now I'm out of the loop on a lot of things. Is Kanye a multi-billionaire? But a lot of the things that you're saying, uh, I don't like. You know, uh, uh, musically and culturally impactful. I'm trying to think. I mean, see, first of all, I don't like R&B. Let's cut to the chase. I like soul music. I like funk. I don't really like that kind of R&B. This type of thing with Beyonce and John Legend, hip hop artists. I'm not even into that. So a lot of stuff that Kanye is making, nah, that's not really for me. So his musically, he don't impact me like that. He's made some good songs. You know what I'm saying? But there's that too that he came out. When I was older. You know what I mean? But I mean, uh, like, what was that show we was talking about? People who, even if they wasn't that successful, they the giants that other successful people stood on their shoulders. I don't really see Kanye like that. You know what I mean? Like, what is his impact? You know what I mean? Like, to me, when you say somebody is musically impactful, like Marley Marl, the modern format where you got a producer and he got all these MCs and he makes the beats and they record at his crib and you put the music out. Marley Marl, he was he definitely was the person that popularized it. You know what I'm saying? Um, to me that's and culturally, I guess there's people out there that but again, I'm not a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, uh, wearing Yeezys and the Kanye shades and the brands necessarily that he's talking about. I'm not into that. So, right, SW was bringing up that when you look at the Gold Digger track, it would appear that he fell victim to a lot of things that he was speaking about. You know what I'm saying? In elevation, said Kanye is an emotional wrecking ball. So, all right, Savior came in. So, Black Justice suggested that maybe he's an idiot savant. You know, that's possible. You know, and I'm just not uh, aware of what he's a genius in. So you said Yeezy sneakers surpassed Jordan in what? President of the streets. SW said when Kanye talks, he's not really smart. He's passionate. Yeah, I can agree with that. I could definitely I could definitely agree with that. Um, you know, his statements that he makes and you know, his analysis of certain situations to me don't appear to be very intelligence based. So 793rd said the younger generation has been directly impacted by whatever he does over the past 2 decades. Yeah, but I mean, like, give me an example of what the young people do. So Jason Rosario said he produced an entire album for Nas, producer for Jay Z. I mean, you know, that is not uh, that doesn't demonstrate intelligence. You know, he's accomplished some things. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, especially in the hip hop industry. You know what I'm saying? I think it's been pretty much demonstrated. You know what I mean? That whatever you accomplish in you know if you know once you go beyond a certain level, you know, in the mainstream, you know what I'm saying? You know, there's some people that work hard out there, you know, independent dudes, but you wouldn't see them getting this kind of coverage for running for president. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's been allowed. See, because when now this is what I see in terms of, you know, if you're saying any type of cultural impact, the cultural impact of really most of the people in hip hop since maybe about 1998, 1999 has been about how much stuff can you make black people buy? All of the people that you see, you know, since about that time, that's kind of what they do. If you recall, around that time, that's when a lot of the hip hop labels start going away. You know what I'm saying? They started, even if they were still around, they wasn't having the same impact it was before. You know, being able to be a salesman has, being able to be a salesman has been the biggest asset that any hip hop artist could have. You know what I'm saying? The amount of weave and bags that Nicki Minaj can sell, is to me that's the cultural impact. You know what I'm saying? I mean, uh, like if you to me this and this is the conversation that we have. I'm trying to understand what you're saying, but it's like when you walk around, right, and you see the amount of people that, Lord Jamar, take somebody that, I don't even, agree with most of what he says, but, you know, there's no question how many people he impacted to be curious about the knowledge itself. You know what I'm saying? Or, Wu Tang, when you see people walking around with Wu Tang tattoos on themselves, you know what I'm saying? That never met a member of Wu Tang. Never been to Staten Island. Uh, that's cultural impact. You know what I'm saying? Even for my own, like in my era, like I said, Public Enemy. You know what I'm saying? That was cultural impact. You understand what I'm saying? As opposed to most of these new dudes is just salesmen. So I would like to if it could be defined, what musical, like I gave examples of what I think musical and cultural impact is. You know what I'm saying? Is everybody out, looking for, a white girl with a whole bunch of plastic surgery so they could be like Kanye? You know what I'm saying? Or, is people buying his sneakers because it's an automatic status symbol because, everybody knows how much it costs. Everybody knows how much it costs. So, automatically it's a status symbol. Free to be me said he's $1 billion clown. All he's missing is a red nose. Is Kanye a billionaire? What is this? Why do y'all keep saying this? Great elevation. So was it that album a whole flop? I don't know. He's talking about I guess the album he produced for Nas. SW said, I don't wear Yeezys in overly ripped garments, not my thing. Like Justice said, his shoes is garbage and his clothes is moist. Hey, listen, and Black Justice is from Chicago. And you could have gave him a hometown discount, Black Justice. 793rd said Mr. Kardashian is a student of Q-Tip and crate diggers. Now, if he stayed in that lane, possibly all the ripped up clothes and sneakers for $1,000 to half a grand, Ghost Riders and the like. I mean, so Jason Rosario, you saying it was a flop in sales, but in fact, it was. In fact, it was a classic. Uh, was the album. He was the people's champ on that album, or what is so Jam says this is Sunya's level hateration. Gotta replenish my electrolytes with some of this haterade. So what are you saying is hateration? So Jason Rosario said next time you go outside, look at everyone's feet. Jordan Brand was feeling the pressure, so now they are releasing all the Jordan ones in different colors. They are feeling the real pressure. So I mean, I would have around where I am, you know, for the most part right now, for this year right now, being around a lot of school, I haven't noticed the Yeezys, you know. I, and I'll keep it 100 with you. I don't even know what they look like. Like if I didn't see them, you so it's possible that I saw them, but I'm pretty sure Jordan is busting his ass around 25th Street. So Jason Rosario said, you mentioned that he produced the album because I mentioned Marley Marl. I mean, we gotta, you you gotta keep things in proper perspective here. You know, uh, Marley Marl there's almost nobody that put out a record until about 2001, 2002 that's not connected to Marley Marl. Like even when you look back at his era, that he came out, you know what I'm saying? Uh, he still was influencing like see Salt and Pepper, Kid and Play, all of them that was under Herbie Lovebug. Herbie Lovebug is a student of Marley Marl. You know what I mean? Nas first came out with Large Professor. Large Professor is a student of Marley Marl. You know what I'm saying? Big Daddy Kane took Jay-Z on tour with him. That got a lot to do with how he got on Marley Marl. You know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang is basically the Juice Crew, but don't forget that even before they did Wu-Tang, Jizza was on Cold Chillin'. So I think I'm just saying in terms of, don't put Kanye and Marley Marl in the same sentence. don't put Kanye. Listen, Biggie Smalls was introduced by Mr. C, and Mr. C was Big Daddy Kane's DJ. Back to Marley Marl. So and that's what I'm saying. Like, do he have stuff like that? And I just don't know about it because I don't really follow him. You know what I'm saying? But you know, all this like auto tune stuff. This is not the type of music I listen to. Christopher Gooden. So the God IV said we need to hold the vote hostage and get a representative. That's interesting. How would we do that? Um, hold the vote hostage. I mean, that's one of the issues is that we only 13% of the population. And then even right now with the present dynamics of population increases, we may not even be the largest minority. But I'm saying, how would that work? So Jason Rosario said, I'm not a huge super fan of the dude. I just have to give credit. I'm not saying he's a genius. I'm just saying he's way smarter than people realize. Um, I mean, I guess let's see how long it lasts. You know what I'm saying? There is a such a thing as fool's gold. You know what I'm saying? You got some people that hit the lotto and still die broke. So you know let's see what happens. Queen Medina, look, what you know about that? You got to bring back the chair, but it's supposed to. I don't know. They were saying it's going to rain Sunday, so we have to see what happens. But we'll be on deck. Queen Medina said they got swords above their head. Who got swords above their head? Brilliant Elevation said nobody is rocking MAGA hats because of Kanye. Queen Medina said 5% culture impact jacking our slang, rocking our flag. Black Reality Euler said, as you asked, what are the young doing? That's my point. With the generation excelling beyond the last generation, we're stagnated. This generation is good hustlers and consumers. Um, yeah, I mean, but there's a group out there that's not, getting coverage because, the group that's drilling and then, the group that's following Kanye is getting recognition. You know what I'm saying? But, it's actually quite a few, of the young that's not caught up in that. So Kanye is supposed to have 1.3 billion net worth, right? And how much of that is actual cash that he can reach out and touch? You know, uh, hopefully this doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? This was, well, let me not even say that. But let's just say, right now, if something happened in your life where you needed the cash, you know, if a life or death situation arose where you needed cash to save your life, how much of that 1.3 billion could he produce as cash without selling all his businesses and houses? See, because a lot of this, this value on paper, you gotta be aware of that. You know what I'm saying? See, being a New Yorker and living here with Wall Street and all of that, you gotta understand the difference between cash money and money on paper. So SW said Jordan 1's releases ain't caving into pressure, they making sales. Burden Elevation said, can a child buy a pair of Yeezys? I beg your pardon, I've never heard of them. Hmm, that's a good point too. In terms of you know, uh and then I guess, that's probably one of my blind spots too. You know what I'm saying? Where uh, you know, cultural impact, uh, on what culture and in what way. You know what I'm saying? Like when Marbury released his Starberry brand, you know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, these different individuals, like for instance, Kanye, you at the end of the day, you another way, to just extract wealth from the black community. You know what I'm saying? Selling how much is this sneakers? You know what I'm saying? You know, how much is that helping? The cultural impact that he's having is not very wise. In my opinion, he's being used. But you being used, uh, you know, you have to be dressed up in order to be used. You know what I'm saying? So, we hook you up with this stuff on paper so that it increases, your kind of marketability, you know, your marketability and your ability to market, you know, and continue to extract this wealth, you know what I'm saying? And so, when you start making statements about slavery being a choice, yeah, well, that choice right now is being made by buying your sneakers. Jason Rosario said Marley Marl is one of my favorite producers of all time. The beats is next level. I still feel like his beats are some of the best. I would never put Kanye and Marley Marl in the same sentence. That's blasphemy. Absolutely. You know, uh, uh, and that's what I'm saying. There's so many people. There's so many producers that I would not put Kanye. You know, there's RZA, there's Eric Sermon. You know, there's uh, Larry Smith. I mean, Kanye did his thing, but I don't know. 793 said hateration is a so-called word Mary J. Blige invented after the 2000. Well, yeah, I remember, yeah, the hateration and the holleration and all of that. But I'm just saying, what is Jam E Jam saying? Which statements is he saying is hateration? Is what I'm saying. Oh, hateration and holleration come from E40. All right. See, I'm not really up on E40, so I wouldn't have known. So I'll be infinite is saying, in terms of holding the vote hostage, right? When I asked how would that work, he said by withholding funding from the postal service so the mail-in ballots can't go out. He is holding those mail-in votes. He is holding those mail-in votes hostage. Oh, so you saying Trump is planning on holding votes hostage? So who was it that brought up the holding votes hostage? God I be. Yeah, how would we hold them hostage? Like that's how Trump would hold them hostage, but how would we hold them hostage? So Queen Medina said Jay-Z and Kanye have swords over their heads. They're using their gift for evil and not good. The ones that's teaching get no money. Um, because uh you're not serving the purpose, you know what I'm saying, of you're not serving a purpose of being a good salesman. Right now, Vegas said, I don't know how much his sneakers cost, but I know my son is not getting them. He be losing shoes on the daily. That's interesting. Brand Elevation say, yeah, his cultural impact is mostly backlash these days. Eric Sermon jumped out the building in Patterson. I didn't know that's where that happened. I know about him jumping out the window, but I didn't know that happened in Patterson. Nah, I thought he was just on drugs. He thought somebody was chasing him. I'm saying the only reason Kanye ain't jump out the window yet is because they got bars on there. You know, uh, that one episode, is difficult to explain, but the the uh, in terms of catalog, in terms of impact, to me, the G Funk came from the P Funk. That's the way I recall it happening. Before that, if you listen to um, Dr. Dre beats, he sound like Marley Marl. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and then after you started hearing, the You Got to Chill and these type of records, and then all of a sudden they start coming out with the G Funk. Yeah, that's pretty much what I heard too, Jason Rosario. But even if that happened, look, something has to increase your paranoia level. You know what I'm saying? Something has to increase your paranoia level for you to jump out the window. Nah, I mean that's pretty much that was universally uh that was universally and then look, Patterson. Anybody that knows Patterson, you know, that whole part of New Jersey. Yeah, that's one thing I always say. That's one thing that Bobby Brown got a bad break on. And look, I knew from the jump, ain't nobody from Newark ever in the history of time been introduced to drugs by somebody outside of Newark. If that's what you think, if you think Bobby Brown is the one that brought drugs in the game, you, you, You ain't never been to Essex County. Listen, man. Listen, man. Jersey City, Patterson, Newark, they got drugs on lock. They got a personal relationship. They got a personal relationship with Colombia, Afghanistan, whatever. Listen, whatever, 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 wherever, 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 your treats is made. Trust me, even Pablo knew about Newark. Probably never been there. She's like, yo, man, you notice that dude, man? He moving his work super fast, man. Where he at? In some place called Newark. Listen, man. See, Patterson is that diesel. You go in Patterson, you go in a restaurant, you have to walk out because the person that's making the food that tracks all of it. Hey man, listen, man. The rest of y'all out there, y'all might don't know about Newark, man. I told y'all what it is, man. As soon as I found out Noble Drew Ali was from Newark, then you can tell me right now to justify nothing that oh man. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, we gotta see what Hurricane G. Oh, Eric Sermon? Oh, so Eric Sermon said after all these years, how come nobody ever came forward to substantiate the rumors? I mean, well, first of all, that's a different time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, like that's something that you see now. You know what I mean? Like for instance, there's things that went down in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s that you really, to this day, there's just rumors about what happened. You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't there, you don't really know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But now, if you notice, since the 80s, you got dudes that'll take you to the crime scene, where they killed somebody and buried them. You got dudes that'll come out and tell you, all the stuff that they did. So we living in a different time where, yeah, people come out and substantiate everything. You know, we living in a time like, hold on, let me give a disclaimer here because this is a Hotep channel. But you living in a time right now where prostitutes be double dipping. Just like even that situation you seen with Trump, right? Where the women came out and said, yo, we had yeah, you got paid. Confidentiality is a part of your business. So now you got paid then, and now you're gonna come out and first you got paid, then you got paid to keep quiet. Now you want to get paid again? You're trying to triple dip. But that's the kind of world we live in now. You understand what I'm saying? You know, after John Kennedy died, you had all these broads come out talking about, this, that. But that was a different world where, yeah, dude might don't come out, you know what I'm saying? He might have got paid off from that. Who knows? As W said, it's scary out here. They lean 5 centimeters from the ground and never fall. Queen Medina said, Ricktown. You mean Brick City? I never heard of Ricktown. Jason Rosario said the first time he ever saw somebody behind a Dutch Master, it was Hurricane G. He was 7 years old. But I didn't know Eric Servant had a baby with Hurricane G. This is y'all brothers got your ears to the streets. Hurricane G was banging. I think I must got the wrong Hurricane G. Y'all check that. Yeah, let me Google. I remember Hurricane G. Man. Well, you was only 7. Mm, yeah, I don't know. That's a little bit. Um, 793rd in 1991 to 1994 ish. Brick City was a stop at the light at your own risk city. So the God Abi said, not a lot of people vote. We say we are going to vote in a block. Um, that's a way to wield a certain amount of power. I don't know if that can hold the vote hostage, but especially when you start to get to a local level, you know what I'm saying, where you got a large enough constituency, you got a large enough amount of votes where uh the politicians need to come deal with you. They need to come make sure that the potholes is fixed on your street. You know what I'm saying? They need to make sure that, the fire department in your neighborhood is open. You know what I'm saying? Because you represent, even if it's just, for pandering, even if you're not the people that's providing the money, you got a large enough block. You know what I'm saying? Like the evangelical Christians, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna get certain attention paid to them because they represent a large enough block. You know what I'm saying? Or the different unions, that have a tremendous amount of membership. You know what I'm saying? Uh, they represent a large enough block that they're issues have to be taken seriously by the politicians. As W said, in those years, it was stop at the light at your own risk. Gang life was being indoctrinated loosely by then, thanks to the West Coast hood movies. Jason Rosario said Hurricane G used to live one block from me in Patterson when I was young. I used to see her at the bodega and just remember the owner respected her and called her Gloria. Years later, I saw her with Puffy. Oh man, she's now 793. That's a shot at Newark right there. He said the more y'all clean up, the worse Irvington and the surrounding areas get. Oh man. Yeah, nah, I don't, yeah, nah, I never knew that Eric Sherman had a baby by Hurricane G. I guess I had to check it. Wait, God save your mind. I guess this is the baby mama show right now. They're bringing up Cool G Rap and Superhead, which that's like a little bit crazy situation. That was a little bit of a crazy situation right there. But getting back to the voting stuff, yeah, Ma Barker, that yeah, that whole episode, that was the whole Superhead episode, that whole moment in hip hop, which that was another situation where it was just like, yo, people think it's a virtue to put your business in the street now. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of what I was saying where people say, it's or I said that, is looked at as a virtue right now to, feel like you beyond embarrassment. You know what I'm saying? Nothing embarrasses you. You know what I'm saying? So, right, Prodigy book pretty much, yeah, same kind of thing where yeah, people come out and you say things that, in the past was never, that was never spoken on again. You know what I'm saying? Like there's famous gangland killings, you know what I'm saying, from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s that people speculate about, who the shooters was, but nobody can really say for sure. La Illuminati. So I don't know if the other half of the L brothers is still in here with us. But we heard from the L brothers. The matter of fact, this is the third member. The new and improved three-member L brothers. But getting back to the different sciences, brothers was talking about, uh, voting. Uh, because that's how we started off, just talking about voting in the presidential race, and then Kanye came up in the midst of that, and then you know we kind of ran into that entertainment topic a little bit. But getting back to the science of voting, you know what I'm saying, and what a lot of this stuff means, because for me, a lot of these individuals, man, that's the last people right here, like since you had really going back for me, since you had Warren, Biden, Bernie Sanders, and Trump, you know, all of these people was like 75 plus or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Now you got somebody else with, you know, these people to me is out of touch, including, Kamala Harris. They out of touch with the general population. Who they in touch with is the establishment. Trump is in touch with the just kind of the mainstream white establishment, of the society. Not the establishment as far as the Republican Party. You know what I'm saying? But just the kind of establishment of whiteness. You know what I'm saying? Where the people who is behind, the people who support MAGA and a lot of the things, they just look, he's a white guy. He represents a certain time and a certain train of thought. You know what I'm saying? You know, uh, Biden, he represents the political democratic establishment. Almighty God of love. Chesedek Salam. All right. Melchizedek Salam. Now, Illuminati said he got to do the knowledge to the Harris chick. Um, well, there was quite a few videos that was put out when she was running for president, and the videos was made by brothers and sisters that's from California, and so they was making knowledge born about her policies and the impacts of her policies in California, and it was mostly all bad. We're not going to speak on we're not going to speak on how they said she came up because this channel is hotel. apparently she was against overturning wrongful convictions. Uh, she refused to prosecute officers, in cases of police brutality. Uh, she jailed parents for their children being delinquent from school. So, see, God save you, Divine. Uh, I think you need to separate diss tracks before, uh, before, I would say before the Biggie Pac era. Before the Biggie Pac era, diss tracks didn't mean the same thing. You know what I'm saying? MC Shan and Karis One, it kind of wasn't the same thing as, like, now it's, I guess we could say like about every month now. You know what I'm saying? When you tune into, whatever kind of news that carries hip hop, you hearing that, a rapper died and, they've been going back and forth with this other rapper. But, that wasn't, that wasn't expected at one time. You know what I'm saying? When Kumo D and LL Cool J, you know, made records, it was, nobody was expecting the kind of thing that happened now. Jason Rosario said, I love speaking on different chambers, but as far as the American political chamber, Trump is the best choice. That's just my opinion. All those Democrats are corporate and foreign bought. Many of the Democrats and those liberals are also being exposed to be involved in pedophile rings. So I'm all about draining those devils. Queen Medina said Kamala is boule, pro cops, pro jail, anti reefers. She didn't want Cali to legalize marijuana. Then Harry Harry Anslinger put the Queen Billie Holiday in jail. Biden's mentor, Harry Anslinger. But Harry Anslinger was, I think he was the like the top investigator or something at the FBI at one time. But Says Jason Rose. I mean, how deep is that? That seems like just a rabbit hole for me. The Epstein stuff and all of that. I mean, and then I'm gonna tell you another thing. I read an excerpt from the lady's book. The lady who, I guess she made the initial, not the initial, but because he had some on his jacket already, but she's kind of the person who, uh, she's the girl who keeps saying that when she was 17, that he passed her around to the, the Prince from England and all of this stuff. Uh, when I read the excerpts of her book, man, it sounds funny, man. I can't put my finger on it. Uh, when you hotel, you don't have to be hotel when you're dealing with the colored women, do you? I don't think that's hotel. I think that's a part of it. Slick Rick, this Vanessa Williams. And the second verse of Lottie Dottie. I didn't even know it was Vanessa Williams even out when Lottie Dottie came out. Yeah, I remember the signs for Strain. Yeah, that's the first time I. Oh no, no, no! I was about to say the first time I remember Vanessa Williams was in Penthouse, but now the first time I remember her was Miss America. I almost forgot she was Miss America. Until you just brought that out, until you just brought that up, I almost forgot that she was Miss America. Hold on. What year what year she came Miss America? All right, so she was Miss America in 1984. And the Penthouse came out when? All right, so yeah, it was Penthouse September '84. So yeah, she was definitely out when Lottie Dottie was being written. I can't say for sure. Cypher Devon said the white boy Eminem called the black woman Mariah Carey the B word on his diss track Warning Shot, and he got no heat for that. I mean, Mariah Carey is I don't know if she's really viewed like that. Universal Truth came in, and this is uh this is rumors I never heard of right here. Mariah Carey? I don't know if Mariah Carey is black. I seen her record her uh when she came out, uh, making it a point that like I think her mother is colored. Jason Rosario said Tila Rock told me that LL ran with his whole style, the rap style, the Kango, everything. He told me that he was the first artist that Rick Rubin ever produced, and they released the song "It's Yours." That's true. Tila Rock was the first. Tila Rock was the first artist on Def Jam. Now Tila Rock didn't live in Washington Heights. Tila Rock was from the top of the hill over there on University and Featherbed Lane. I know Tila Rock. I mean, she might want to be whatever her father is, but I mean, Universal Truth said that Musa being half original contribute to his ability to civilize the devil. Um, well, that's pretty much, it's all hand in hand. Christian Curry, what's going on? Christian Curry coming at us from Facebook. Welcome to the channel. Click like over there if you get a chance on the Facebook. In fact, everybody do the each one teach one and click the like button for me. These late night forums, they don't show me as much love. So Almighty God Allah said Mariah Carey's mother is Irish. I mean, yeah, he could have moved over to Washington Heights, you know what I'm saying, later on, but he's definitely from uh Bronx. listen. Um, I mean, I don't know exactly how you said, but I mean, look, it's you could just listen to uh dominating, illustrating, description, giving, adjective, expert. Yeah, that's LL Cool J. Using the big words. You know what I'm saying? The voice, the style. I mean, that wasn't something that Tila Rock had to tell nobody uptown. We pretty much was like, yo, this dude is biting Tila Rock. That's like the Devon said, I'm trying to get a few guys on IG to tune in. They all seem reluctant. But who's the guys you're trying to get to tune in? They could have been people who've had run-ins with me in the past. Um, yeah, LL Cool J, he had a pretty, you know, his reputation, was that people in Queens, they didn't really respect him like that. You know what I'm saying? And that, yeah, he was having a hard time. Uh, he was having a hard time. You know what I'm saying? Southside was popping at that time. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, I sit here. We sit here uptown about them letting LL Cool J have it. You know, now Illuminati is talking about Kamala Harris policies. I mean, well, she got the policies that she speaks on. When she's running for office, running for president, the ones that she speaks on now, rather, while she's running for president. And then she got the policies that she actually instituted when she was district attorney in San Francisco and attorney general of the state of California. You know what I mean? So that's really what you gotta look back. But right now, to tell the truth, you could just read if you read the news, or watch the news, read the paper, whatever you do, you're gonna see all of those stories surfacing because that's pretty much what capsized her, her own presidential run. That's what happened. As the more news about her that came out, you know what I'm saying? Just like even at first, she wasn't really she wasn't first billing herself as an Indian woman. If you recall, when she announced she was running for president, she announced it on Martin Luther King's birthday at Howard University. Jason Rosario said Tila Rod told him that LL always wore a Kango because he had a huge bald spot. The first time he took the hat off was for the movie Toys. Hmm. I mean, I remember hearing that. I mean, when he first came out, LL was like 16, 17, though. Cool Keith. Cool Keith used to diss LL on a regular basis. Um, you know, there was actually a lot of people dissing uh LL Cool J, Run DMC that I never seen him respond to. A few guys who was about the gang life. I mean, I remember, I mean, do these people you were introducing them to me, or they know me or know of me? You know what I'm saying. See, remember what I told you? You know, people that's negative, they got knowledge of self. They know that look, the things that I want to do, I don't need to be around this person, man, that's about, positivity or they about building and none of that. You understand what I'm saying? And T came in and said when Giuliani started talking about how bad Kamala is, I'm like, damn, this is really a rock and a hard place. Jason Rosario said they are really good friends now, though. He speaks highly about LL as well. LL be showing T. the Rock mad love and homage on his radio station, Rock the Bells. I didn't know LL had a radio station. Now it's born. University Truth said LL told Ren that whatever Ren could do, LL could do better. Ren took his hat off and threw it across the stage, and LL just walked away. Yeah, Ego Trip was a Peter Piper diss, but uh, Universal Truth asked how is Christopher Columbus a half original man? Yeah, God save it. I mean, all you could do is, keep trying. You could tell them about the channel and everything. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, when you got to go in a forum where you got to show and prove, you know what I'm saying? That throws a lot of people off. A lot of people don't want to take it to that level. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, uh, it is what it is on that. You know what I'm saying? But Universal Truth asks, how was Christopher Columbus a half original man? Uh, see, uh, no one really knows who Christopher Columbus is. You know what I'm saying? If you research enough sources, You see, some people think Christopher Columbus is Spanish. Some people think Christopher Columbus is Italian. Some people think Christopher Columbus is Sicilian. You know, I think some people even think Christopher Columbus is French. You know what I'm saying? Um, but what we do know is that Christopher Columbus moved amongst the colored people and the original people. You know what I'm saying? And the things that he did, uh, namely discovering the poor part of the planet Earth, he moved among he moved amongst Queen Isabella in the Catholics in order to get the money in the ships to so-called discover this part of planet Earth. And he also moved amongst the Moors, right, and the Muslims in order to uh, be able to have maps and navigate uh, to the poor part of planet Earth. Jason Rosario TV said Giuliani revealed his policing tactics today, which was interesting. He said that he took the cops out of white communities that voted for him and put them in the black community where Al Sharpton was at. I mean, that was kind of a no-brainer. I mean, he took them away from where there was no crime happening and sent them to where was crime happening. Um, there was different times. Remember, I'm pretty sure that was when Giuliani was in office, the police went on strike. You know, he kind of uh, turned the heat up on him a little bit. Some of the policies that kind of the police force had gotten used to, being corrupt in some ways. Giuliani made them clean that up. Like the way they was processing arrests, how long they was taking to process and arrests and things of that nature. Um, and like this type of thing right here, this is something that'll get the officers upset. You know what I mean? Like, you've gone through whatever, you've gone through whatever, you know, uh, you know, buddy network in order to get you a nice cushy position, in a nice cushy post. in a neighborhood where it's not much crime, whatever crime it is not very dangerous people. And then you go from there, they put you in East New York or something. Born Love, Allah Supreme said, all my studies showed them to be Italian who were darker skinned but saw themselves as European. Um, I can't tell you which studies is yours. Um, but if you study some more sources, uh, you'll see that he's said to be from many different places, and no pictures of him exist from when he was alive. Also, at that time, I'm not sure there was something called European. But I guess we wrap this up with we never really got to the topic of the fine line between cause and effect, and kind of how to recognize the difference. See, because sometimes what happens with the cause, right, is that the cause is so outstanding. The cause uh, is so impactful that you could think it's the effect. And sometimes the effect takes so long to kick in, or it kicks in so indirectly that we don't realize that it's associated with a cause. See, all the time you will see people who say, yo, why is this happening to this person? Why is this happening to that person? And it's obvious to you why it's happening. See, a person, they may be doing something, right? And they don't realize that this thing that they're doing is also making them develop a mentality. And now from that mentality that they develop, and now the way you deal with everything is because this is your mentality. But because the person don't recognize that correlation right there, they think that whatever's happening is happening for no reason. They don't realize that it's the effect of what they're doing, which is the cause. So see, sometimes the cause, like right now, we're dealing with in the beginning, one of the first topics we touched on was how the economy is doing right now since the coronavirus came in. See, the cause, right, which is the coronavirus, was so outstanding that a lot of people look at that as the effect. But that was just the beginning cause. Of course, you could look, even into that and say, well, what caused, uh, what caused, coronavirus. But in terms of society that we looking at, you got to be able to separate, or you got to be able to recognize which is the cause and which is the effect. What is the hell and what is the right? See, sometimes the cause may not kick in for a decade. Like it might be something that you eating right now, right? That the cause doesn't come until you get in your 50s, 60s, 70s. Universal Truth said it's a cause, the root, and the effect, the fruit. Well, you may want to look at it like that if the thing is positive. You know what I'm saying? But saying that the effect is the fruit, or the best part, you gotta remember sometimes the cause brings the effect of, the worst part, but I see what you're saying. You know what I mean? And then, even within that analogy, I would say the cause is the seed that's planted. You know what I'm saying? Because the seed that's planted is going to determine what the fruit, what fruit is born. What is this? Swang Yangs? Swang Yangsies? We got a lot of different type of brothers tuning in with us from Facebook today. It's kind of crazy. Gotta tell you why I said, wouldn't that be the effect? What caused you to eat the wrong foods is different from the effect that it has on you. Well, now, see, now you're dealing with the science of time. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with the science of, reality that, you know, kind of the best way or the easiest way I think I can communicate is you talking about the domino effect. You understand what I'm saying? You know, of course, now the cause of the first domino is you flicking it. You hit the first domino, right? So that first domino falling is the effect, right, of you pushing it down. But then that domino becomes the cause for the next domino. You understand what I'm saying? All of that is a part of recognizing the cause and the effect. You know, realizing that entire chain. You know what I'm saying? Just like on here we talk about a lot of parts of the chain, right? That brought us to where we at right now. You know what I'm saying? Just like when I say that it took thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and all different types of attacks. Mentally, physically, emotionally, medically, economically, politically, socially, family attacks, et cetera, for us to get to the point that we at right now. You see, you also have to isolate these situations. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning that, you know, uh, you know, sometimes, in a person's mind, it might be, for instance, well, somebody stole my bike, so I'm gonna steal somebody else's bike. So, while somebody's stealing your bike and your mind is the cause, nah, that's not really, a reason to steal somebody else's bike, or to, go around stealing, other people's bikes because your bike was stolen. You see what I mean? So you have to isolate these situations, you know, Universal Truth said, Dan Esco said, don't make sense. What doesn't make sense to you, Dan Esco? Universal Truth said, I didn't realize I was eating wrong foods. I didn't realize I was eating foods I should have outgrown until later on in life and always after a fast. Jam says, what does it mean to destroy the devil in one day without falling victim to the devil's civilization? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. What part you don't understand about that? God side of the divine. So what comes first, the cause or the effect? Yeah, yeah, pretty much I was about to tell you that anyway. I think you already know the answer to that. No, Dan Esco. I said someone steals your bike, you know, uh, well, where you from, Dan Esco? See, you have to speak to people in their language. See, most of the people on the live, we from the inner cities of America, and we grew up a certain kind of way. South Carolina. That's what SC stands for. South Carolina. All right. What part? You know, that was one example. You know what I'm saying? But for instance, Dan Esco, uh, you may have oh, so you're originally from New Jersey. What part? If you from Newark, then then I'll know you're just being facetious. You're being facetious right now. Universal truth says you can live with effects and not realize the cause until you check various things you think are the cause, but it isn't until you have that aha moment of discovery that the cause presents itself and you're cured. Okay, so you know about New, but still though, you know, you should have understood my example. But let me use a different example. You might have been in a situation yourself, or you might have dealt with a woman, right? Who, let's say you get in a situation where you're in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And your heart gets broken. You know what I'm saying? And then from your heart being broken in that situation, right? Now this changes you towards all women. You start treating all women a certain kind of way because you had your heart broken before. But it wasn't by any of those other women. You know what I'm saying? And maybe, whatever it is, this heartbreak that you dealt with may not even be a part of their nature, so they don't understand at all, you know, or you may have dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? With a woman who's had her heart broken. So now she deals with you a certain way. You understand what I'm saying? And so therefore, like I said, you know, that cause, what the person sees in their mind as the cause of, why they behave the way they do towards you is really there was no reason for them to transfer that to you because that's not your justice. You understand what I'm saying now? Dan, let's go. Jason Rosario TV set an example of cause and effect. The morning cause of the American stock market booming is because Trump's leadership in the financial sector. Trump's confidence is the cause of the American economic effect. Um, hmm, I mean, I think you might be giving Trump a little extra credit right there. I don't know how much Trump really has to do with the stock market. The stock market is kind of this out of control thing right now. Uh, like I said, it's a series of band-aids that's been put on crisis. Different crises that have uh, different crises that have occurred. Like I said, in my lifetime, I've seen five of them. At least. Uh, and that's been the effect of most of those crises is to, uh, shift a lot of things onto the stock market and, to kind of use the elevation of the stock market as, you know, some kind of indicator or marker or, foundation of wealth in the country. But the thing is, you know, where they say like 10% of the population owns 85% of the stock. You know what I mean? So the people who is actually impacting for the most part is not the regular people. So now Dan Esco is talking about he doesn't he doesn't think Trump would make a difference. The country was on the road to collapse before Trump. He accelerated it. I'm from New York, uh, Dan Esco. Um, I'm not what a minute ago you said you didn't understand is what you didn't understand about Trump. What do you AI stock market controlled? All right, you gotta kind of tune in with us here, Dan Esco. Soul Rescue. Jason Rosario said Democrats, for example, argue that the cause of the coronavirus will, in effect, help them win the 2020 election, which is false, but that's just an example. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, you can. That's another thing about the cause and effect is you can misidentify the cause and the effect. You know what I'm saying? You got another fine line when it comes to cause and effect, right? And that is that correlation is not necessarily causation. Just because two things happen at the same time or around the same time doesn't mean that one caused the other or that they occurred because of the same cause or for the same cause. But no, I don't think the Democrats winning is going to be an effect from that cause. No, no, no. You're using the wrong word here, God save it, divine. There was a time when you were affected, AFFECTED. You know, uh, uh, the affected that you're talking about is more closely related to a cause than it is to the effect, which is what we're talking about right now. Jason Rosario said, I was investing in the stock market since April and I was making money watching his press conferences because he would mention certain companies and then they would start rising in the stock market. I mean, that's that's true. That was also true of Obama. You know what I'm saying? When he started speaking on renewable energy, right? Uh, renewable energy companies rose in stock amount, you know what I'm saying, or stock price. Um, but over time there was no underlying stability there for that price to remain. And so a lot of those companies is out of business now. So Rescue said politicians are always only filthy politicians, so don't trust them where they are. So Dan Esco said, algorithm computers. I mean, we understand that, but the algorithms is still, they got to be programmed to certain things. An algorithm is a set of instructions. You understand what I'm saying? If this happens, then take this response. You know what I'm saying? You know, and the fundamental things that those algorithms react to, you know, those is things that's more related to the Federal Reserve, you know what I'm saying, and how companies are being treated, you know what I mean, in terms of how easy it is for large corporations, banks, things of that nature to move money. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta realize that when the stock market crashes, it's not because the computer breaks. It's not because the algorithm malfunction. So you got to look at the factors of that. You know what I'm saying? That the algorithms and the artificial intelligence, they work the same way when the stock market goes up as they work when it goes down. So that means you got to search for, what is the actual cause. The cause is not the algorithm. Jason Rosario said, for example, when he mentioned the certain companies that started manufacturing masks and pharmaceutical and certain equipment that was needed, they would start rising in the stock market. But see, the reason why that's happening for the most part, Jason Rosario, is that the band-aids that they put on the crisis, right, is a lot of times to, make a tremendous amount of money and credit available to corporations and banks. And what happens is, like you said, he makes an announcement like that, and then these corporations and banks, they invest money, but they invest in at such a high level that it causes price rise. You know, but yeah, this is. I mean, there's other things that can happen too. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, you know, right now, if the NFL commissioner announces that the season is canceled, NFL stock is going to go down. This is more just uh, financial news. You know what I'm saying? But it could be, yo, this company and this company, um, they agreed to a merger. You get some price rise on the stock. Dan Esco, I'm from the whole New York City. Mr. Green one said, "I cannot draw what can I draw what up with a real life example?" So Dan Esco says, "You talking on something else?" Oh yeah, I'm speaking on. Yeah, I'm broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook. So is that what you couldn't understand? The because we usually pretty keep things pretty simple and straightforward on here. But because I didn't understand what part you didn't understand, so maybe that's what it is. Right? Affect means to impact or change, and effect is the result of the change. How correlation? All right. Give a real life example of how correlation is confused at times as the causation. Um, the first thing that comes to mind is religion. You know what I'm saying? You know that rain is God crying. You know what I'm saying? You have this idea or belief that God is in the sky, and you have rain coming from the sky. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, uh, that correlation to many religious people means that, the cause of that is God is crying. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, uh, around the time that gangs, uh, let's say gangs started being on the rise, right? Um, People also started consuming a lot more bottled water. You understand what I'm saying? That happened at the same time. There's a correlation there. You understand what I'm saying? But the two don't have anything to do with each other. You understand what I'm saying? You know, when you were in the when you go out after you when you first born, and they put you in the room with all the other babies. See, the reason you was there with them, right, is because y'all was all born on the same day. Y'all have that correlation. See what I'm saying? But the people who was the cause of y'all being in there is totally different. There's uh, quite a few examples of it. You know, uh, if you need some more, just put it in comments. Actually, so Dan Esco say, yes, the stock market is rigged, in my opinion. We have record unemployment, but the stock market is doing great. Yeah, because the source of their income is us. On face value, they're the source of our income, but it's really the other way around. Mr. Green once said, this makes me think of the way Rothschild started spreading false narratives about the stock market among investors at that time and caused the effect of the stock market to drop to a point where he was able to corner the market. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's financial news. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that's at a level, once you get to that EF Hutton level, where when you talk, people listen. Um, you're going to be able to have that impact on the stock market. But that's more about financial news than any particular individual. Dan Esco said, what's your opinion on physical gold, silver, and Bitcoin? Um, I mean, that's a pretty wide topics right there. What is my opinion on physical gold and silver? You mean as currency? With all of these things, you got to remember the economy is one giant agreement. You understand what I'm saying? The modern money that we have, uh, what you got is government fiat, and government compulsion. You see what I'm saying? The fiat is when you look at the bills and it said, this, what does it say? This bill is legal tender for all debts, public and private. So that's the fiat of the government just saying that. So, it really wasn't an agreement by the people, you know what I'm saying, that we see it as being worth this much. You know what I'm saying? And then there's the thing in it what really enforces taxes, or what it really enforces uh, the agreement that money is currency, the paper and dollars and coins that we have as currency, is that you can only pay your taxes in dollars. You know what I mean? So, at some point you have to accumulate dollars in order to be able to pay your taxes. You know what I'm saying? And that's what kind of enforces it. So physical gold and silver, Bitcoin, uh, what part did you want to get into on that? Jason Rosario said the moves of the president directly affect the confidence of the financial sector. They wanted to keep our country closed, and he forced it back open. In other countries, they literally have martial law. I mean, yeah, but like I said, the moves, of the president of the NFL, directly impacted too. The moves of Warren Buffett, directly impact the financial sector. Um, you know, uh, See the thing about what you're talking about, and Mr. Green one brought that up with the way the Rothschilds cornered the market, right? The thing with that is that those are the people they call in the speculators. who end up being in trouble. The people who try to just go on a word and make a decision about what's going on. Dan Esco, my YouTube channel, you gotta type in Darkim Be AllahChrist. DARKIMBE, and Allah Christ is one word. As soon as you type in uh DARKIM, it comes up in the suggestions. Uh and I'm not sure, somehow Random Jewels, Universal Truth said, can cause be controlled? Can we prevent a cause from happening if we know what the effects could be? Or do things happen regardless and their effects are there to hint at the cause? Well, now, most certainly, you can, uh, you can, what would be the word? You can circumvent a cause. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if, uh, there's things, like if you don't have uh, a coat this winter, right? Then, because of that, the effect is you're going to be cold, when you go outside. But see, you could buy a coat in the summertime. Like it's not even, is it, you're not even waiting until it get cold. You know what I'm saying? You know, uh, you know, this what you talking about now is that's the actual science of being God. What you do in different situations is going to bring about different effects. You know what I'm saying? What you go to school and do, right, is going to control, you know, how freely you able to move after you get out of school. Whether you get out of there because time's up and they tell you, look, you got to go, or whether you get out of there with a diploma. The bottled water, what are you talking about? Bottled water with fluoride? Got Poland Springs. Damn, that's gonna say he wants to send something. What's my address? Send something like what? Jason Rosario TV said, I like gold and silver. Crypto is cool, but ain't nothing like having a couple gold bricks. I mean, but as long as the people around you also agree that those gold bricks is worth something. Yes, I mean, you know, um, the example that comes to mind, what I'm saying, when you deal with it, and why I say it necessarily has to be an agreement, right? Uh, if you look at a lot of places, what I'm saying, yeah, you got around the Mediterranean, what I'm saying, around the Mediterranean, an agreement was made that, gold was extremely valuable, right? From Egypt to Rome to wherever, gold was a value to them. But, in other places like South Africa, you know what I'm saying? Or over here, amongst the Mayans and the Aztecs, they had, from what I understand, the Mayans' economy was based on chocolate. Even though they had all this gold here, that's not what they agreed, had the universal value. So, I'm not against it. I'm just saying that it has to be an agreement. So Warren Buffett is buying physical gold. Now, see, look, whoever made, Dan Esco makes this announcement right here. Warren Buffett buying physical gold. You know, I'll guarantee you that, as the people see that news, you're going to see the price of gold rising because more and more people is buying physical gold. Chase Rosario said what the Rothschilds did is what they now call stock manipulation. And I think they made laws just because how they used to move back then. It still happens indirectly. No, it still happens directly. You know, it's a matter of going through all the steps. You know, see what Rothschild did is he didn't just put bad news out there and he capitalized on it, bought companies, put them out of business, things of that nature, created monopolies and things that's uh, against the American capitalist system. You understand what I'm saying? But in terms of making statements, it could be anything. Like right now, you could have some T-shirts that you make. You know what I'm saying? And somebody announces, "Yo, that those T-shirts right there, those gonna be the official T-shirts of our organization." The price is gonna go up. But at that time, Jason Rosario said, "I feel like Bitcoin is stock manipulation based on popularity." I mean, see now exactly what you're saying here. Bitcoin doesn't have anything behind it. It is based off popularity. That's what gold is. Like if you go somewhere where the people don't like, if you go to like the South Pacific, you go to Papua New Guinea. I recall uh, watching this show was a show right where some colored people they went amongst this tribe in Papua New Guinea, and it came a point where the older dude was talking to one of the people from the show, like one of the hosts, and he was like, "Yo, uh, the one thing we wish is that we could keep our young people out here on the land with us." You know what I'm saying? He said, "Yo, it's like when they go to the town and then they get money, they never come back. Like you can't tell them nothing, you know." And then he looked at the white dude for a minute, and then he just leaned in and he said, "Yo, I don't even know how to get money. Like I don't even like what is it? Like he was like, how where did this stuff come from? What is it?" You understand what I'm saying? So gold and silver is also based on popularity. Like you could say, okay, the money or gold is backing up the money. Okay, but what's backing up gold? It's the agreement. Jason Rosario said he bought a gram of gold on 57th Street in the Diamond District. Yeah, I got a couple grams of silver. Yeah, Jason Rosario. I mean, yeah, mine is like a tiny square, about maybe that big. I like that. Tiny. Yeah, the dollar is also an agreement. All of these, economic tools is based on an agreement. We all have to agree. So you gotta think back to the I guess you could say the primary method of trade is the barter system. The I guess you would consider it a flaw. The biggest flaw with the barter system is, what if you want what I got, but I don't want what you got? Let's say you come up to me, right? Now I don't eat onions. You come up to me, you said, look, I trade you an onion for an apple. I'm like, nah, I don't want an onion. You know, I like oranges. You got any oranges? And he don't have no oranges. So then, he said, okay, you like oranges. So now he's got to go down to the orange guy and say, look, I'll trade you an onion for an orange. Now, the dude with the oranges may not like onions either, but let's say he do. Now he trades you the onion for the orange. Now you could go back and get your apple. But time is money, right? So we get some other thing, right, that we all agree on, meaning the me as the apple man, him as the onion man, and him as the orange man. We all agree that we're gonna give all of our stuff a value, right, in this thing that we agree on. So let's say we all agree that one apple or one orange or one onion is worth 1 unit of whatever this currency is. You know what I'm saying? Uh, then that's how that economy starts working. And that's what's important about the agreement. Well, yeah, having to pay your taxes in cash means that you have to, accumulate said cash, throughout the year. Dan, let's go keep saying he wants to send me some things. I'm saying you know me from before, Dan. Let's go. He this must be born mastermind wants to know what I'm eating. By phrase, you up there in the Providence plantations. They don't want me talking up there. But you came in at the last minute, man. I think you're gonna have to rewind because we're about to wind this one down. Uh, yeah, Dan, let's go. I mean, what do you want to send me? Uh, it's not very I'm not accustomed. I'm gonna send me something physical. Yeah, but what is it? Well, you could be calling Powell out there, getting to send me some anthrax. You only need this much. Kill the whole Congress. AG, what you mean, gold? No, gold is AU. Hmm. What's AG? What are those spaces? Give you an address. Yeah, I don't know about you, Dan. Let's go. I got classes on Mondays and Tuesdays. You want to bring me something? Bring it on Monday and Tuesday. Universal Truth said looking for a cause is not like looking for a mystery. If you see an effect, there's a cause. That Allah will manifest using a sense of humor in here now. Yeah, but Dan Esco, uh, you come by, my class if you wanna bring me something. If you want to support the stream, you can see my Cash App and my PayPal is up on the screen. I just click click this link right here. Click this link right here, Dan Esco. Yeah, all on the business. We was discussing many causes being effects of other causes, speaking on the domino effect. Dan Esco said he uses Venmo. But I don't know if I got Venmo. You gotta click on that link right there. Danny, let's go. But guess what, Danny? Let's go get yourself together. You know, everybody that made it this far in this stream, do the each one teach one. Hit the like button. Uh, If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Um, and of course, of course, as Fly Phrase was just saying, hit the notification button if you want to be abreast of whenever I go live. You know what I'm saying? We definitely came in and did our thing today, had a nice discussion. Um, Tomorrow being Saturday, we'll definitely be here in the pocket once again, probably coming on a little bit later, you know. Peace to all the gods, all the earths, anybody else out there from the other nations that's rocking with us, peace to y'all as well. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.